All right, so I'm going to speak for a few minutes on undergraduate research. Again, I am director of the Undergraduate Research Program, which is a program intended for all students at Bridgewater State. To start us off, not everyone perhaps has heard of or understands what undergraduate research refers to, and so let's just define that. So it refers to faculty-mentored scholarly work in any major that aims to discover and create new knowledge. Now, I like to point out that we have any major bolded here because we at Bridgewater take a particular pride in the fact that we try to get students opportunities to get involved in research in any major, basically, that you might choose to pursue. So the natural sciences, of course, are the area of study where people most often connect undergraduate research to. And indeed, we have plenty of biology and chemistry majors who get involved in undergraduate research. But we also have students that are studying within the social sciences. For example, psychology majors or anthropology majors. We have plenty of students studying those fields that get involved in undergraduate research within their chosen discipline. We have plenty of students in the arts and humanities. For example, we have English majors or philosophy majors that get involved in undergraduate research. And then there are several more still. And so the point here is whatever you are intending to study, you can come to Bridgewater and count on us trying to support you in getting involved in undergraduate research. If you get involved, some of the things that you will gain from it is one-on-one faculty mentoring, right? So the way that it usually works is when a student is interested in doing research, he or she will connect with a faculty member and they will work together to formulate a project, right? Perhaps a research question or an art project. And they will work together to define what the project is going to entail, how they're going to pursue that project. And then as the student is pursuing the project, he or she will work with the faculty member to interpret the data or perhaps come up with new approaches to an art project or something like that. And so it's a prolonged process, a very rich process of one-on-one faculty mentoring with a student. In addition, we have many opportunities for students who are doing research to gain grant funding. For example, we have a semester research grant program whereby students doing research can receive up to $300 to cover the cost of supplies that you might need to perhaps do experiments in a lab or to buy reagents or supplies to do an art project, or perhaps travel costs if your research project entails traveling to a destination. So students can gain that $300 each semester that they're doing research. We also have a very strong summer research program where we pay students $4,500 as a stipend. And the idea is we want to provide students the financial support so that they can have a very in-depth 10-week-long full-time research project during the summer. And so our intention is to provide this financial support so that students are able or more able to devote that time to it. And then we also provide some funds, $500 for supplies. In addition, we provide financial support for traveling to national conferences. Obviously, during the COVID times, this is a little bit complicated, but nevertheless, there are plenty of conferences that ordinarily would have taken place at destinations throughout the country, but they are now going virtual. And so while it's much cheaper, there is still a cost of registration associated with that. So if you were to do research and put together a project, and then you wanted to present it at a conference where you could present your work, interact with other people within your field, professionals outside of Bridgewater, you could attend and present at a virtual conference, and we will cover that registration fee for you. Once we get past the travel restrictions, or at least hopefully once they lighten up and it becomes possible to travel to offsite, we have resources to pay for flights, to pay for hotel stay and things like that, so that you can actually go to those locations and present your work and have those interactions. Lastly, I want to point out on this slide that as evidence of how seriously we take undergraduate research, in 2019, we were awarded the Best Undergraduate Research Program Award, which is provided or awarded by a national program, the National Council on Undergraduate Research. And we just mentioned this as a testament to the fact that we take it very seriously, and we are taking that seriously to support you if you choose to get involved in undergraduate research. So with that said, I am now going to transition to some shared insights from Hannah Dean, who is a current student of ours who has taken advantage of many of these opportunities so that she can share with you the impact that it's had on her. So let me go ahead and stop sharing so you can see Hannah better. All right, Hannah Dean.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that slide. I did not see that last time. But as Ken had mentioned, I am heavily involved in a lot of things on campus. And one quick thing that I wanted to point out first, I usually have two things that I like to say about high impact practices, is that participating in things like a research project and an internship sound horrifying at first. They are very scary words. And when I was a first year student, I was like, no way, you will not catch me doing an internship. That sounds really scary. But when I did end up starting to participate in these high impact practices, what I learned was that it was really an application of what I was learning in class. I was able to progress my knowledge of what I already know, learn some more things, and then kind of ask some more questions. So my biggest involvement on campus has definitely been undergraduate research. So when I was a first year student, I joined the research lab that I am in currently, and I knew nothing about biology. I mean, I knew like mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but I had no idea this research lab is doing behavioral analyses and crazy science things. And as a first year student, I had the opportunity to learn those things. So when I took upper level classes, I already had a solid basis of those things. So that is how we need to be looking at these high impact practices as an application of what we're learning in the classroom to progress ourselves. The second thing that I like to mention when I talk about internships in undergraduate research and study abroad is that they don't have to apply to what you want to do in the future. They can, but they don't have to. It's about the transferable skills that you're going to learn in your time. So for myself, I am in a biology research lab. We work on circadian rhythms and behavioral neuroscience. And next year, that's what I'm going to go into my PhD in. I'm getting going into a PhD in neurobiology. So my hard lab skills are very transferable. For my best friend, it's different. She is in an ecology lab. She works with eels. She's not going to work with eels for the rest of her life. She's not going to stand in streams and go fishing for the rest of her life. She wants to become a physician's assistant. So for both of us, what's important is that we have skills in a lab setting where she has learned how to use different procedures, and she has learned different technical skills and different soft skills. One other thing that's important is the communication of the results that we have. So both of us have presented at the conferences that Ken had talked about, and having the ability to present your information is very important, especially today, where it's important to share our knowledge so that everyone is aware of what we know. So those are the two things that I like to say about the high impact practices, that they are not as scary as they seem. They're just an application of what we learn in the classroom, and that you gain a lot of transferable skills no matter what you pick and if it's related to your field or not.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Hannah. Well, with that, and we only have about a minute left in this session, I want to share my screen one more time because it includes some contact information. So if you have questions about anything that you heard today or anything related to that, please feel free to reach out to us.